everyone, Anne from the Sussex Handmade Soap Company here. Welcome back to our channel and to our videos, and today we are going to be creating a monochrome soap. It's going to be coloured black with activated charcoal, and it is going to be coloured white with Kaolin Clay. Then we're going to be swirling it together, adding a touch of magic and a sprinkle of salt, and some essential oil as well today. We're going with a Lavender Essential Oil. And then we're going to be swirling it all together and creating something that hopefully you guys will think is beautiful, because we've already made it and I actually really like this design. It reminds me of Tim Burton artwork, but that's just me. If you do like the design and if you like it enough to actually treat yourself to a bar, please do, because these will be available in our release on the 1st of January. Yay! You can find them here on our website if you want to. If you don't want to, just watch the video and enjoy the video. It's more about, you guys having the fun, watching the video and seeing us creating. If you choose to buy anything from us, that is just a bonus that we are eternally grateful for, but do not feel compelled. Anyway, come and join us on today's soap making adventure where we make black and white monochrome lavender scented soap. So today I've already melted down my solid and liquid oils together, and I've actually split them into 2 jugs. One has got 60% of the oil weight and the other one has got 40%. And we're now going to go ahead and colour these each, one white, one black. And for that I am using Kaolin Clay. I've got 5 grams of Kaolin Clay here, and I'm just going to tip that all into this jug here. And for the other one we are using activated charcoal. And again, we've got 5 grams, which we're going to tip just here into this jug. And we're going to incorporate them into the oil using the stick blender, just to try and get those clays to dissolve really nicely, so that when it comes to actually blending up the soap batter, we haven't got any undissolved bits of clay left in the batter. So I'm going to give it a quick whiz. And as you can see, that's been nicely incorporated now. So now we're going to move on and whiz in the activated charcoal. Just repeating exactly the same process of giving it a nice stir and then a quick whiz with the stick blender. And we're going to work firstly with the white coloured portion. So we'll pop this one out the way for now. And I've got my cooled lye water here. We're working at about 115 degrees today. And because I've got 60% of my oil in here, I've got 60% of my total lye water weight in here. I'm just going to pour that carefully into the oils. And then I'm going to use the stick blender just to bring it to emulsion. I don't really want it a trace today. We are looking purely to get it to that emulsion phase. So that's going to be just a few seconds with the stick blender. Right, so I brought this to a nice light emulsion, and the camera actually turned off, so you didn't see me adding our essential oil. We were today using Lavender Essential Oil. I have put 60% of the amount we are using in here because we are using 60% of the batter for the white portion. The remainder will go in with the black portion in a moment. But I've just incorporated that nicely, and what we're going to do now is just split this off into 3 equal portions, 3 other jugs, so that's about 448 grams per jug. So now I'm just going to repeat the process with the black, so I'm going to add our 40% of lye water into the black portion, and then I'm just going to whiz it to a very light emulsion with the stick blender, and then I'm going to add in that Lavender Essential Oil. And we've got 40% of the Lavender Essential Oil here, so that is 20 grams going in. And I'm just going to incorporate that nicely. Then we're going to pull back in the first of those white jugs because we want to add 149 grams of this black into each of our white jugs. We're going to kind of do a little in the pot swirl with them. So here we've got our 3 jugs, each with an equal amount of the white. And now we're bringing back in the black, and I'm honestly not sure if I remember to press record when I was showing you what I did with the black. Basically what I did was brought it to an emulsion again, added the other 40% of the essential oil that we've reserved, and now I've split these down into 149 gram portions. We have got some black left over, which we'll be using in a minute, but for the time being we've got 3 149 gram portions of the black here, and all we're going to do is just from a height swirl it down, one portion of black to one portion of white. We're going to go in with a little in the pot swirl with these. Honestly, I'm having such a day today. I think I've just messed up with the recording. There might be some weird little jumps or edits going on because there is a little bit that I think I may not have pressed record at the right times. I've actually, let's tell you the truth here, I've actually made this soap once already today, and I did it with a fragrance oil, and the fragrance oil seized on me, went absolutely horrible, but I really wanted to get the soap done, so I was like, I'm going to go back to a nice, trustworthy essential oil that I know doesn't accelerate, doesn't rice, and doesn't kind of make me have to work too quickly. So everything's gone a little bit wrong today. And yeah, I've topped it off with forgetting to press record on the camera. So well done me. This is a highly professional video as per usual. Never mind, everyone makes mistakes, don't they? Right, let's swirl this final one in. At least the batter's behaving quite nicely now. I tell you what, the fragrance oil I used, you should always test fragrance oils, but this one I just didn't, and I was like, I'm just going to jump in and see what happens, and I'll tell you what happened, it just turned into a disaster. And I wasted the batter and I wasted the fragrance oil, so that'll teach me to test next time before jumping right in. Right, there we go. So I'm going to put these to the side now, and I'm just going to pull in our mould. And today we are again using the 5 pound Bramble Berry mould, and we're going to take our first portion of black and white batter, and I could give it a little swirl with a spatula, but I'm not going to. We're just going to pour it in fairly nice and high so we get a nice kind of swirl going on. Down like this. Let's get that spatula to make sure it is all out. And then if you remember, I said we had some black left over. We've actually got 2 portions of black left over. I split what was left after I divided up those 3 jugs. I split the remainder equally in half. And I'm going to try and carefully, using the spatula, because this lower level is still very thin at the moment, we're just going to carefully go with a spatula to try and create a nice kind of line, a black line running through the centre of the soap. It may not work, it may break through that lower layer. I'm using the spatula like this just to try and avoid that happening. But sometimes it just happens. Right. Batter starting to get a little thicker now, but absolutely still at a workable stage. So as you can see, what I've tried to do here is completely cover that lower layer with the swirl with a thin line of black. I think it's worked fairly well. I think at the edge here we haven't quite managed to cover, but I'm not bothered about that because that'll be an end sample piece that'll get chopped anyway. So we're going back to our second pot of black and white, and I'm going to grab my spatula back again, and now we're just going to repeat the process. We're going to go down over the spatula. Start at this end, it's just easier, and try not to break through that lower level. If we do, it's not going to be a major issue, it'll just give a different kind of look and feel to the soap, but I'd rather not if it can be avoided, which is why I'm using the spatula like this. Now we go back to our next portion of solid black. I'm going to try and pour a little bit slower this time because I think last time I ended up with rather more at one end. And just carefully going all the way down, covering the top of that mottled layer. with the solid black layer. So now it's back to our final portion of black and white, which is thickening now, but it's still more than workable. And we're going to do the same thing again, just down over the spatula, breaking that fall as much as we can, and just finishing off this soap with one more swirled black and white layer. And yeah, it's definitely getting thicker now, and I think we are breaking through that black layer a little now. You can see how much the soap is thickening actually as I'm pouring. But believe me, this is nothing compared to what I had earlier on, the thickening that I had going on earlier on. This is usable. The batter I had earlier was most definitely not usable. And now I'm just going to give it a few minutes to set up a little, then we're going to come back in and texture off the top. So it's probably been around about 25 minutes, half an hour, and the soap is just now set up enough for me to be able to texture the top. And I'm just going to be using a regular teaspoon to do this. And all I'm going to do is one of my favourite, pulling it just up towards the middle, kind of swirls. One of the easiest, one of the simplest, and one of the most effective in my opinion as well. And I can smell that lavender now as well. It smells gorgeous. I love lavender so much. Wayne hates it, but Wayne's not here today, so I got the lavender out, and I'm pleased I did because I think it's just really going to suit this bar really well. Whoops. There we go. Now I'm just going to turn the loaf round and then texture the other side the same way. It's really therapeutic texturing the tops of soaps as well. I mean, it has been a hectic day where a lot of things have gone wrong, but just now sitting here doing this kind of helps all the stress to just fade away until something else goes wrong. There we go. Easy peasy. And lastly, we are going to add some decoration. And I'm not going to add lavender flowers. They would be kind of an obvious choice because it's a lavender bar, but I think the black and white theme, what's going to look really nice is some Hawaiian black salt. And I have weighed this out. We have got, I believe it's 2.5 grams in here. I have got that written down somewhere, but I've put my book away now. I think it's 2.5 grams we've got here. Or perhaps it's more, could be 6 grams. I'll put it in the description. I always put it in the description for you guys anyway, because I always forget what I'm doing. You know, I write things down and I weigh things out and then they just fall out of my head as to how much I've actually got. I think it might be 6 grams actually. But as you can see, I'm just going to finish it off by sprinkling. Okay. By just sprinkling it across the top of the finished soap, just along this peak where the two sides have met in the middle. And I just think that it kind of just really adds a really pretty effect. And if you don't like it, the bonus is that it'll wash off the first time that you use the soap anyway. So there we go, that is all of the salt on now. And here, there, everywhere, here is our black and white monochrome swirled lavender bar. And I want this to gel. To be honest, I always gel my soaps because of the natural colourants I use. This has got activated charcoal and kaolin clay, so if it doesn't actually gel, it's not so much of an issue, but I'm going to try and make it gel anyway. So I'm going to pop it into my heated seed propagator, which is a strange place to put a loaf of soap. But it works really well for me. It's basically a little greenhouse type propagator with a heat control, so I can set that to up to 30 degrees. So I will be setting it at 30 degrees, popping this inside and then just covering the top with a towel, and that should hopefully help it to gel. And then we shall be back probably tomorrow to unmould it and chop it into bars and see what's going on down through the middle. So we are back 24 hours later, and here is our unmoulded black and white monochrome lavender loaf. Has got a little bit of soda ash on the top there. Not too much of an issue. It's a little bit of a shame it's covering up the design on the top, but not a major issue, and when it's cut into bars it won't look quite so intense anyway. Right, we are using our superb soap cutter again today. I'm still loving this. It's still new to me and I love it every time I use it. And because we've got that salt on the top, we are turning this loaf on its side for the cutting, and I'm just going to line it up and get it in position. And now we are going to cut. I expect I probably will still get a few little drag marks from that salt on top, but turning it on its side should help minimise those. Here we go. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Yay! I'm really excited to see the inside of this one and see how it's turned out. So this is what we've created. It's a little different to what I envisaged. Obviously those black solid layers have sort of dipped down a little, but I actually really like it. It's kind of, I can't even really describe what it reminds me of. Some kind of mystical, magical world, I think. I don't know, I'm really liking the swirls that we've got. Let's pull out another bar and see what the swirls look like. Let's go for this one down here. So there we go, there's another bar pulled out. And actually I've been having a little think, and I think it's reminded me a little bit of kind of Tim Burton artwork going on here with the swirls and the black and the white. I think that is what it is triggering in my memory. And I really actually like it. It's very abstract. It smells beautiful though. I can smell the lavender. If you like lavender, you will definitely like the smell coming off of this bar. And I just kind of like the abstract monochrome black and white feeling to this one. Right, so I was just going to put this soap down on the shelf to cure, and then I had to turn the camera on because I have just spotted, and this is not an X-rated channel, but I think tonight it might be, this, I don't know what it says about my mind, but all I'm seeing is a naked woman in the soap. Face, body, yeah, you can imagine what I'm seeing there. Yeah, I've created black and white naked woman soap. Oh my goodness. So here they are, the monochrome black and white swirled soap delights. I really do like this design. I genuinely think it's just right up my street. Loving it. And loving the little salt on top too. Thank you for watching our video today. Remember, these can be purchased. We have got 30 available. On the 1st of January, they will be on the website, which is here. And you can use our little discount code to get 20% off here as well, if you want to. But yeah, they shall be out with our January release, our first release. I'm so excited. I hope it goes well. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for watching today. Do give us a like if you've enjoyed the video. Give us a dislike if it's not quite for you. And give us a subscribe if you like it that much that you just have to see more. That's the option I'm hoping you go for. Enjoy your weekend and we shall see you next week. Bye!